Hello, hello. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the third episode of Tiara's Books Worth Reading. I'm so happy you decided to join me today. Three is a divine number, so I'm happy to be bringing you the third episode. Of course, if you've been following the show or if you need to go back and catch up, I premiered the newest episode a few days ago, and this is Tiara's Books Worth Reading and Books Well Read. And the book that we are reading is The Coldest Winter Ever. Now, I recognize that with this being a new show, like I told you guys, we're going to be continuously growing. So today, as you see, I'm recording on my headphones because I could tell the last time in listening back and everything that some of the sound kept going out. So I'll continue working on the sound and maybe even get some AirPods or a mic or, some better lighting or something like that. I also decided to start recording, or I'm going to be recording at all times whenever it's kind of free time to me. But today I decided to record in the daytime so we could get some better lighting. And I'm in my den office space, so it's a trampoline behind me. So I'm at my desk with the trampoline. So a lot of times when I'm in here working, my baby will be in here jumping on her trampoline. But that's another story for another time. So we're going to jump right back in to the book. It's The Coldest Winter Ever, you guys. And we are on chapter 4. So now, as you know, the episodes will be no more than 35 minutes. So what I do is I set my little timer and make sure that we have, I don't run over on your time because I know that we want to make this bite-sized pieces of delicious reading, books well read. And as you know, I'm going to be reading all the books. So this is just the premiere episode. The show is going to get better. And we're going to continue to have fun. I would love your interaction, your feedback. I've been listening to your feedback, so that's what made me put on the headphones, say, let me listen a little bit further. And I want to make this something that you guys really enjoy. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with chapter 4 of The Coldest Winter Ever. Oh, first I got to set my little timer thing. I got a little old school timer. Look, you guys. See, that's how you know, like I got head old school headphones and old school timer. I didn't even realize that I needed AirPods until my daughter got some. So, and I've never been the kind of person liking things in my ears. I really like the big foamy ones. So maybe I'll get something like that. But anyway, so we're into the book. When we last left off, Winter was dreaming and fantasizing about Midnight and her experiences with him, and things had changed pretty rapidly, if you guys recall. So it's a lot going on in their lives, and this is just the first 3 chapters. This book is jam-packed with circumstances that, as I said, one of the reasons this makes this my favorite book is because so many of us had these traumatic situations at such a young age and had to readjust our lives so quickly based on the choices of our parents. So it's nothing, those things you grow out of and you come through, but this book is definitely life-changing and hilarious and informative, and so many things that make content, especially a good book, worth reading. Chapter 4. The next weekend came so swiftly. It was 12 noon when I woke up. It was my mother's voice. She was going off about how she was not spending one more day caught up in the house. Where was her fucking car? She wanted to know. Today is the day. Today is the day my fucking Benz is supposed to be parked outside of my bedroom window with a big red ribbon on it. Where is it? She demanded. The tone of my mother's voice was rare. I could hardly say I ever remember it being this rough. All I could think is here go 2 Concorde jets about to have a head-on collision. My 3 little sisters came running into my room, stuffing their little bodies under the covers with me. I expected to hear Santiago yell back, but he didn't. Instead, my mother just continued blowing her cool and doing something she told me not to do. She was making it clear who the boss was. A real woman was not supposed to do that. A bad bitch controlled without the man ever knowing that he was being dominated. A bad bitch was so slick that she made him think he was calling the shots while she planted the seeds and was the owner of all his thoughts. Not today. My mom's told Santiago she didn't want to hear no shit. He was going out with her today, her birthday, to buy that car. She was leaving with him, she instructed. After his business was transacted, Santiago was to buy that car she had been holding her breath for. She wasn't interested in no other presents, no matter what they were. Through the walls, I could hear the bass in Santiago's voice, but not his exact words. The next loud sound I heard was the door slamming. From the silence, I knew that both of them were gone. As my mother had said last week, she always had her way. Saturday evening, the stars fell down 6 minutes after 6. 6 hours after their argument. I remember it clearly. That was the time the phone rang. Winter, get the kids ready. I'm coming to pick you up. I didn't recognize the slow, steady voice. What? Who is this? This is Midnight. Listen, your father asked me to pick all of you up and bring you out here. Oh, you're becoming a regular little taxi driver, huh? This is serious, he said. I'll be there in 2 hours. Click. Damn. Should I beep Santiago? This had never happened before. Then I thought to myself, Midnight can be trusted. I got the 3 little girls ready, and 2 hours later, we waited anxiously at the door. My 8-year-old sister wanted to fight me for the front seat of Midnight's Acura. I told her to take her little ass in the back with twins. I wondered what would make her think she could ride in the front seat with my man. Hell, she probably already had a crush on him. Little girls start getting horny at a younger age every year. Where are we going, I asked. My heart was filled with all kinds of feelings. We have to rush. Just get in. I'll tell you when we get there. It's not for little girls to know. Midnight tried to fill up the empty space with the radio. Other than the music, we rode in complete silence while one of my sisters tried to peel the last bits of sticky paper off her now later candies in the back. Oh God, I thought to myself, I hope she don't suck the candy and leave it stuck to the side of the seat like she normally does. I imagined Midnight pulling over and throwing all of us out on the expressway for messing up his leather interior. I laughed to myself. Just then, the aggravating voice of Sister Souljah leaped out of the radio and started choking me. The ancient African elders believe what you sow, you reap. If you do something positive will come back to you. If you consciously do negative things, then negativity will rule your life. I sucked my teeth and thought, why don't that bitch just move to Africa? She always talking some African mumbo jumbo. Somebody should stick a bone in her nose and a plate in her lip. Maybe then she'll feel at home and shut the fuck up. I made myself laugh thinking, them damn Africans must be some fucked up niggas. If they believe doing something positive cause positive things to happen, why are their asses all fucked up, bald-headed, naked, starving, stinking, and the whole nine? They must be doing some foul shit. Hell, that bitch don't know. She just be talking the talk. When we got to downtown Brooklyn, I asked Midnight where he was headed. He was turning right. Our old neighborhood was to the left. I said I would tell you, he said. Minutes later, Midnight pulled over, put on his emergency blinkers, and asked me to get out. Puzzled, I got out. He came around to my side. He didn't let the girls get out. I said, I know we ain't leaving them in the car. Come here. I got to tell you something. He put his arm around me and looked me dead in my eyes. Your mother is in the hospital. She's been shot. My whole mind went blank. It was like someone took an eraser, the type they clean the blackboard with in school, and just wiped everything out. 1 second later, my mouth was screaming. My mind was blank. My body was cold. Midnight's arms were around me, hugging me, embracing me, and trying to hide my face in tears from the girls. They had their faces glued to the window, saying something like, ooh, Winter's kissing Midnight. We gonna tell Mommy. My body was stiff. My mind wouldn't think. I felt out of control. What do I do? What do I do now? Is she okay? Is she gonna? Midnight held me tighter, firmer, almost as if to demand with his body that I get it together. She was shot in the face. I don't know how she is. Santiago is upstairs with her now. I'll watch your sisters. You go upstairs and check on the situation with her now. Vega will take you up on the elevator, he said, nodding in the direction of one of Daddy's men stationed in the main lobby door of the hospital. You come with me, I begged him. No, this is my position. We don't want the little ones to know nothing yet. Upstairs, Santiago looked like a madman. His face was dark with sadness. When he looked at me, I could swear that I saw tears, something I could honestly say I'd never seen in his eyes before. He hugged me hard, strong and warm. As he laid his head on top of my head, his voice whispered, "I'm sorry. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up." "What happened, Daddy? Is she okay?" "She's going to be all right. They're operating on her now," he said flatly. "I should have just gotten her the car," he muttered. "I shouldn't have hesitated." "What happened?" I repeated. "I never should have let her ride with me today. I knew better than that. What a stupid mistake. What a stupid fucking mistake. Them motherfuckers is going to feel it. Violation." He grabbed my face with both hands. "They'll take care of your mother," he said, using his eyes to point out his men stationed in the waiting room. "You take the children and stay with Midnight." "Where are you going, Daddy? Can I see Ma?" My words hit his back. He walked out the door. The doctors, nurses, attendants, hell, it took the entire hospital, it seemed, to hold me back. I wanted to see my mother. They kept telling me she's on the operating table. She'll be in intensive care later. Contamination, infection, blah, blah, blah. Pizzazz and Druaz. Two more of Daddy's workers were standing near the operating room doors. They was trying to look casual, but it's hard for two big black niggas from the streets to look casual in a hospital. It ain't like somebody was going to mistake them for doctors or nothing. My mind started to clear up as I sat and sat and sat. It dawned on me to call Natalie. If something went down around our way, she would definitely know a little about it. Natalie's voice was apologetic. She said sorry so many times you'd think she pulled the trigger. I didn't have to say nothing. Natalie just rambled on. "I know it was them niggas from up the C building on the other side. They've been trying to blow up around our way for some time now. On the low, they've been shaking niggas down, looting and terrorizing everybody. They got their little operation going on, but damn, to blast Santiago's woman in the face, that's some raw, unnecessary shit. The way I figure it, there are enough crackheads around here for everybody to get money, but they'll learn. They young boys anyway. They'll catch it. Santiago will set them straight. It's going to be a blood storm in Brooklyn tonight." She acted excited, like she was watching a heavyweight fight at Madison Square Garden or something. "Where you at?" Natalie questioned. "The hospital," I mumbled back. "Where are the kids and the housekeeper?" Nah. No, where are the kids with the housekeeper?" "Nah, they downstairs with Midnight." "Midnight? What's he doing there?" She intruded, then continued to, "Oh, it's like that now, huh? Oh, that's your man now and shit." I hung up. Rodriguez mentioned to me to come toward him. Discreetly, he leaned toward me saying, "I'm taking you downstairs now. You won't be able to see your mother until tomorrow. Midnight is waiting downstairs in the front. You'll leave with him." "What exactly happened?" I asked. I got no response. "Drop the kids off at Auntie Lori's house," I told Midnight from the passenger seat. "I want to go check on some stuff." He looked at me with complete defiance, told me that he already had the plans from Santiago and I should just sit back and do as I'm told. "Just let me make one stop then," I said, figuring I needed to be on my Brooklyn block where the shit was jumping off at. I needed to be with my girls, ready to do whatever we had to do. "That's the problem with all you women," Midnight said dryly, like he was 40 years old instead of 22. "Nobody can tell y'all shit. You never want to listen, never want to follow instructions. Then when shit goes down, all the fuck you can do is cry." We crossed the state line into New Jersey. Midnight pulled into the Marriott Hotel parking lot. As many times as I had thought about me and Midnight's hot bodies all twisted up on some crisp, clean, cold, new white hotel sheets, I never imagined that we would be here under these circumstances. "We're going to stay here tonight," he said. A big smile spread across my lips. "No, this is serious," he spit, as though my delight was somehow illegal. "I'll check in for all of us. Most likely nobody will ask. But if they do, we're one family renting a suite. Last name Cooper." "Cooper? Is that your last name?" "See," he said. "You don't even know my name. Remember that." Huh, I thought to myself. Is that supposed to be some kind of fucking answer or something? The suite was immaculate, top of the line. I couldn't have asked for more if I was on a honeymoon. There was one king-size bed in a living room with a couch with a pull-out bed inside. Each room had its own television. The bathroom was huge marble down and looked brand new. I stepped in there, took a deep breath, and figured maybe after the kids went to sleep, we could room service some Cristal and sip it while we took a bubble bath together in the jacuzzi. I needed something to relieve all my pressure, and why not get it with the man I always wanted? You four can take this bed, Midnight said, pointing to the bedroom. I'll sleep in the living room. We'll be here for the next 3 days, so get comfortable and chill. You three, don't make a mess, he said with a certain joking tenderness that must be reserved only for children. 3 days, I hollered with my hands on my hips. Can I talk to you a minute, please? I pointed toward the living room. He rejected my order, turned the television to the Disney Channel for my sleepy sisters, and then came into the living room at his own pace. What is this shit about 3 days? I have one dress with me, the one I'm wearing. The 3 little bears have no clothes and already have spilled shit all over themselves. My mother's in the hospital. I want to see her. I need to know what's going on. I'm not down with this Mission Impossible shit. And as for that shit you were talking in the car about women crying when shit breaks down, that's bullshit. I'm a fighter. I've held heat before, and I know how to use it. I can cut a bitch with my razor so fast and so clean she wouldn't even know what happened until she bled to death. The problem with you, Midnight, is that you think you know every goddamn thing. When you're not understanding is that I can help. I can be your right-hand man. Just let me know what's up. What's going on? Nothing moved except Midnight's jawbone. Something Mama said was a definite sign of a man's anger. He reached in his back pocket, pulled out a stack of bills. First thing in the morning, I'll take you out to get some clothes. Don't worry. I realize you're a high-maintenance bitch. Gotta keep you in the style you're accustomed to. How many fighters do you know find themselves in the middle of a goddamn war and all the fuck they think about is fashion and the clothes on their back? Hell no. You won't ever be my right-hand man. I was impressed with the big stack of bills and excited about going shopping. I wondered if this was his money or if Santiago had given it to him, and he knew all along that he had orders to take me shopping. Maybe it was a little bit of both. Maybe he was using his own money, but knew Santiago would pay him back. Okay, one last question. I pushed, knowing I was aggravating him, yet enjoying the attention. What clothes are we going to wear out to go shopping in the morning when all our free stuff is dirty, when all of our stuff is dirty? Never mind. I know, the laundry service. As I pushed 8 to call down to the laundry room, he put his finger on the phone, disconnecting my call. With a muscular hand on my shoulder, he said sarcastically, think like you come from the projects. Take your clothes off and wash them in the sink. Hang them up by the heater to dry. You know how to wash clothes, don't you? The laundry service is closed now. It's almost midnight. After stripping the 3 bears and tossing their clothes in the sink, I put them under the sheets and blankets. I talked to them about the things we were going to do tomorrow and assured them that everything was okay. They knocked out to sleep one by one like clockwork. I slipped off my dress and stood checking myself out in the bathroom mirror. Thank God I listened to Mama's advice about always having nice, clean, sexy underwear. If I was a tech head, I could have got caught out here with some beat-up drawers on my ass with a shit stain and a big old hole in them. Just the thought cracked me up. I peeled off my panties, undid my bra, and put them in the sink. I stepped in the shower and let the warm water turn hotter, steaming my whole body from the tension of my crazy day. My mind was downloading slowly. What about Mama? What would her face look like now? Would she have to get plastic surgery? Would her face be temporarily disfigured? What would Santiago think about her face? Of course, he would make sure she would get the best medical treatment and everything. How long would she stay in the hospital? Oh, my God. Would I become a professional babysitter, getting stuck with my little sisters? Santiago would definitely have to hire the housekeeper full-time instead of part-time to help watch the kids. What about Midnight? What was his beef with the world? Or was it that he just like pissing on my world? For once, Mama was wrong. She told me that Midnight wanted me. She told me that his only fear of Santiago stood in the way. But that was not what I saw in his eyes. Fear. He never seemed fearful of anything or anyone. He just straight seems disinterested in me. Now he and I were forced together for 3 days like being stuck on a deserted island. If I was the last woman on earth, would Midnight turn me down? What the hell could he be thinking? Stepping out of the shower, I grabbed 2 towels, wrapped one around my wet hair and the other one around my body. I swerved into the living room where Midnight had positioned himself in front of the TV. His dress shirt was open. Underneath, he was wearing one of those crisp white undershirts. I could see his gun on his waist half tucked in his pants. My eyes slid down his legs. I could see another gun he held near his ankle. The blackness, the guns, his muscle structure, that white shirt, those white teeth, and his unfiltered anger was so seductive I had to try again to get with him. Do you want me to wash your clothes? I'm getting good at it now. No, that's okay, he said without even taking so much as a look at me. I stepped over and into the chair opposite him. I'm tired, I said, stretching my arms slowly above my head. Go to bed then, he answered cruelly, as if he didn't want to be bothered. I picked up my legs and placed them on the arm of my chair. I was now going to become the freshly showered, hair wrapped, body wrapped in a towel, ivory girl. I started playing games with my legs, repositioning them, opening them slowly, closing them slowly. I was making it possible for him to see the hairs on my pussy if he only wanted to. When I got excited enough, my juices would start to flow, releasing the scent of a willing pussy, definitely something he wouldn't be able to fight. Are you a homosexual, Midnight? Because if you are, that's cool, to each his own and all that good shit. He laughed a rare laugh. Without turning around, he said, go to bed, little girl. Little girl? Do these look like little girl titties to you? I stood up and released the towel, dropping it to the floor. I wanted him to see my 34 Ds so he could take back his insult. I wanted him to see my whole body. He stayed stiff like a mummy, unaffected by my nakedness. And I mean, I was butt naked, standing in the middle of a hotel suite which was designed for fucking. Midnight leaned up, grabbed the remote, and started surfing the channels. I'll see you in the morning, he said finally, like a father would. I sucked my teeth, picked up my towel, and returned to the bathroom. I washed, rinsed, and twisted the clothes as if they were the source of my anger, laying each piece out to dry separately, some by the heater, some on the shower curtain. I tiptoed into the bedroom, not wanting to wake my sisters. I grabbed one of the pillows from the bed and sat my bare ass in a comfortable chair next to the bedroom window where I slept. In the morning, I used the hotel blow dryer conveniently situated on the bathroom wall to finish drying the damp clothes. I slid into my dress, hating the idea of repeating yesterday's fashion. Without a proper cleaning, the clothes were stiff and rough like cardboard. Brushing my hair into a French bun, I heard Midnight talking. I pushed open the door connecting to the living room. He abruptly ended the conversation he'd been having on his cell phone. What's up? I asked. Your mother is out of surgery. She's still in intensive care, but she's going to be all right. Montenegro and Ferrara are at the hospital now looking after her. Yeah, right, I mumbled. The first people I'm sure she'll want to see when she opens his eyes has to be the bodyguards. I rolled my eyes. Come on, drive me over to the hospital. I want to see my mother. Nah, Midnight responded coolly. Your father said you should relax. We'll get the kids ready and all go shopping. They should like that. They can run around a little. Santiago called? You knew I wanted to talk to him. Why didn't you call me to the phone? I screamed. Take it easy, Winter. I don't know how it happened, but just then I lost control. Is it that you don't want to hear me, or am I speaking French, motherfucker? I want to see my mother. I want to talk to my father. I turned quick and grabbed the hotel phone so I could beep Santiago. Midnight grabbed my wrist, causing me to drop the phone. I spun around wildly, asking, what the fuck is up with you? He didn't answer. I pushed him. As I swung on him, he used his strong body to restrain me. Stuck in his grip, I cursed him. Get the car ready, nigga. I'm going to the hospital. Instead of slapping the shit out of me, he hugged me even tighter. Feeling his warm body close against mine, my resistance stopped, and I found myself crying into his shoulder. Over his shoulder, I saw 2 of my little sisters staring at us. What's up with you two? The 8-year-old ass. Midnight turned my body and face away from the girls and whispered in my ears. It's all right, shorty. I knew you would break down sooner or later, but you gotta hold it together or your sister's gonna start bugging too. When I saw my own tears fall onto my hands, I got mad at myself for crying. It was not like me, but I liked the feeling of being uptight on Midnight. I liked the way he was holding me. I even liked the way he was treating me right at this moment, so I pushed it. I took a genuine situation and was about to make it work for me, cry some more, get even closer for a little longer. But then 3 of my sisters tried to muscle their way into the act. One by one, they started crying too. Midnight released my body, looked around the room at the four weeping willows, and got a look on his face that indicated he could not stand the pressure. He put his hand in his pocket and pulled out a stack of cash. All right, whoever showers and gets dressed first gets $50. Their tears turned to excitement as they shot into the bathroom to box each other out for the dough. The money was smelling like salts, and it revived everybody. The money was like smelling salts. That's funny. The money was like smelling salts. It revived everyone. Midnight turned toward me. Yo, shorty tough, 2 more days. That's it. Then you'll be back home. Try to stay cool, you know? I couldn't answer. I was straight in love with this nigga. I was replaying my new nickname, Shorty Tough. Trying to break the spell, Midnight waved a stack of cash back and forth in front of my eyes. Yo, you must be an imposter. Where's Winter? Nobody has ever asked her twice to go shopping, he said, flashing a rare smile. I laughed, grabbed my jacket, and said in a sexy way, I'm ready. At the mall, the war of wheels kicked in. I had one side of the hanger with the miniskirt I wanted to purchase, while Midnight's tight grip held the other side. My sisters ran in and out of the aisles under the clothes racks while me and Midnight argued. With one hand on my hip, I clenched my teeth and spit. I've worn skirts like this before. It's my choice. Don't act like you never seen me rock a mini before. How and why did Midnight think he could tell me what I can and cannot wear? Now I'm saying, maybe if he was giving me some dick, making me feel good and relax, I might have considered his ideas. Yo, check this out, shorty. I'm responsible for you right now. Whatever you did before is your business. For these 2 days, you're going to wear something decent. Come on, put this shit back. He grabbed my hand and let me out of the boutique while my sisters traveled close behind. His touch in my hand shot a sensation between my legs and through my body. Now I wanted that miniskirt. I had others like it, but him grabbing me in a rough style made me want him even more. It seemed now that he cared. I was breaking through his ice-cold ways, and it was worth temporarily losing control. He led me upstairs into Bloomingdale's. Now wait here. He moved around the clothes racks with the rhythm of a leopard on the hunt. He held up an Eileen Fisher pantsuit. All right, this is banging. This is something I would pick for my sister to wear. Let's go get some shoes, he said. Now the pantsuit was fly, I'll admit. The material was high quality and all that good shit. But Midnight's comment had reduced me to the level of his sister. Is this something you would want Tasia to wear? Who? Tasia. Tasia, your girl. Because I don't give a fuck what you would want your sister to wear. I want to know what you would want your girl Tasia to wear. Tasia is not my girl, he denied. I rolled my eyes. That's not what I heard. Fuck what you heard. You and them silly bitches you be with, they don't know me. They just chickens, a bunch of chickens who ain't got shit to do except run their mouths. I placed both hands on my hips. So are you saying you weren't fucking Tasia? Is that what you want me to do to you, he asked. Fuck you, then talk about it with some other hoe? I weighed his words thinking, is this like some type of trick question or something? Yes, I did want him to fuck me. Hadn't I made that clear? No, I didn't want him to talk about me with some other hoe. I want him for myself. Was he calling me a hoe? Fuck it. Wear what you want to wear, he said, frustrated. I got all the things he liked for me. We picked up some clothes for the kids. We ended up at FAO Schwartz toy store. Midnight wanted to find me some games for the girls to play with to minimize their missing mommy and daddy. And most of all, for them to stop from asking too many questions. The more fun they had, he figured, the less questions they would ask. When we were finished, we had so much shit, it looked like a late Christmas. We had so much fun, we had forgotten about lunch and had worked up quite an appetite for dinner. It was clear to me that Midnight was in control for now, so I didn't even ask where we were going to eat or try to give directions. I just sat back and waited for him to take us to the spot of his choice. We went to the North American Lobster Company somewhere in Jersey City. I felt nothing but delight. The tables were big and round. Each one had a beautiful candle centerpiece with sexual flicking flames. The male customers wore white shirts and ties, placing their business jackets carefully on the back of their chairs. The women quietly talked to their mates, their faces soft and expressive. 100% class. There was no doubt that Midnight was as smooth as Santiago. He was made just for me. He lifted Mercedes and Lexi into their chairs, pulled the chair out for Portia. Do you have any kids, Midnight? Silence. Answer the question, I insisted. You ever seen me with a kid, he asked, now aggravated. That's not the point. A lot of niggas got kids everywhere, but you never see them. Yeah, well, I'm not like a lot of niggas. If I had a kid, everybody would know. I felt easy again. How old are you anyway? I asked, already knowing the answer. You starting to sound like the police. Not hardly, I said, smiling real sexy like. I'm 22. Without missing a beat and without being asked, I responded, I'm 18 in 3 weeks. He looked at me serious like, lying sure comes easy to you. You don't have to take a breath, blink, twitch, nothing. The lies, they just roll straight off your tongue. How old do you think I am? I asked Midnight. Portia jumped in. She's 16. She'll be 17 in January. I pinched her leg under the table. Back in the hotel room, we played Go Fish, Pity Pat, I Declare War, Old Maid, Candyland, Trouble, and Sorry before the 3 little ones passed out. Everything was less tense than yesterday evening, and for me, this meant an opportunity. Before I could organize my approach, however, Midnight grabbed the remote and clicked on the CNN News. I got up and stood in front of the television. He had entertained the kids, and it was time for me to entertain him. He got an instant look of disgust on his face. Why don't you do something with yourself? Asked Midnight, annoyed. I glanced up toward the mirror and checked my appearance. I look good to me. So I asked, something like what? I don't know. What do you do? What are you into? My mind drew a blank. So what's up, shorty? What's the answer? I smiled, liking the fact that he was playing with me. The answer to what? I asked. He shook his head as though I was frustrating him or something. What? Is there something you want to hear? Something I'm supposed to say? What? I asked you a question. What are you into? What do you like to do? My mind started clicking. I like to enjoy myself, I said with much attitude. What do you know about that, Midnight? I like to feel good, relax, get high, fuck, dance, shake my ass, shop. I like to be turned on, and I love to turn another motherfucker on. What do you read? He asked. What's the name of the last book you read? I like movies. I like chilling with my girls. Matter of fact, if I wasn't stuck here with you, I'd have plenty of good shit to get into. What you gonna be when you grow up, Winter? Whatever. Maybe I'll get a job like yours, I said, cutting back at him, letting him know me and him are the same kind of people. I got plans, he said, going back into himself. Midnight went over to his leather bag, unzipped it, and said, here, pick out a book or a tape. Do something with yourself. Just stay out of my way. The Art of War, The Wretched of the Earth, The Judas Factor were a few of the books Midnight had in his case. They didn't look interesting to me, and I wasn't going to read some shit I didn't like just to get his attention. I went for the tapes. He had some Sade, Albie Shore, Stephanie Mills, In Vogue, and Blackstreet. Mainly the old cool out shit. I snatched up his Walkman. The wire for the headphones was twisted between Midnight's wallet flap. When I pulled the Walkman wire, the wallet flipped open. With my back to him, I went through his stuff. He had a picture of a dark-skinned older woman. She looked about 30-something. She had dark eyes and was wearing a scarf. The next window was a picture of a girl. She seemed about 14 years old with a cute little face and big innocent eyes. I figured it must be his sister. She seemed way too young to be his girlfriend. She was dark, just like him. Also inside the wallet was a piece of paper folded twice over. It was old and warm. I opened it carefully, trying not to make noise. It was a flyer advertising a Sister Souljah speaking event. Covering most of the page was a picture of her. The voice on the radio and the face on the picture didn't match. I pictured her to look like a man, rough hands and veins popping out of her neck. In the picture, she looked normal, young, with a decent face. She looked like a regular uptown Harlem girl. You know, in the picture, she had her mouth wide open. On the bottom of the page was an event address, Brooklyn Friendship Baptist Church on Herkimer Street. I quickly folded it up and slid it back into my wallet. I laid the wallet back into his overnight bag and went back to my room, closing the connecting door. Taking one of the pillows from the bed, I sat up in the corner for myself once again. I turned on the old Albie Shore jam and drifted off to All I Do Is Think of You Night and Day. I can't say that I remember my entire dream that night. Oh, well, guess what, guys? It looks like we're out of time. Let's see. Oh, yes, we got about 3 more pages, so I'm going to definitely finish it up because we do not want to leave off in the middle of chapter 4. But see, that's the benefit and the joy of reading, you guys, is that once you get into it, you get into it. And it's like, I don't know. There's nothing that makes me happier than reading, and it brings me much, much joy to read to you. So we're going to finish this chapter. It's 3 more pages, and I'm going to speed it up so we can get out of here in less than 40 minutes. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. So let's see where I was. Okay. I can't say that I remember my entire dream that night, but I do remember a vision of me and Midnight's children. There were 3 of them. The oldest was a nappy-headed, rugged-looking boy, my son. Rough the way I like him. The girls had good hair like me. They were the color of hot caramel with diamond earrings. All of them were styling in complementary colors. Pelly-pel jumpers with some kicks so fly they ain't even been invented yet. When I pushed the door open the next morning, Midnight was stretched out on the floor doing push-ups in his undershirt and undershorts. He was breathing and sweating. My eyes raced across his body. I'll drive you home at about 10 tonight, he said. Inhale, exhale. Everything's straight. Santiago will be there. We just need to find something to do with the girls today. You know, to keep their attention. At the count of 150, he dropped and rolled over on his back. He curled up his fist in his undershirt and exposing the solid 6-pack in his stomach. What you think we can get the shorties into today, he asked. I didn't respond. Winter, what up? You in there? I smiled. He looked into my eyes and smiled. You always looking for trouble, some shit you can't handle. Midnight delivered us home at 10 p.m. sharp. My handsome father was standing in the doorway waiting. His white linen suit gleamed in the light from the moon. His big hands rested in his pockets. He embraced Midnight as if he was family. He held my younger sisters in his arms one by one and gave me the warmest, securest hug back into my safe home. The house was extra clean. The music, an old Earth, Wind & Fire album played softly in the background. Santiago took Midnight into the den. Midnight came out a short while later, offering a general good night without so much as a glance in my direction. Santiago sent my sisters off to bed with the idea that Mommy was away, as in on a trip, and would be home next weekend with candy and presents for everyone. Daddy followed me into my bedroom. I knew to be quiet. Santiago looked more peaceful than he did on the day of the shooting incident. I switched on the lamp on my vanity table. Then the added light revealed a strange scar on the right side of my father's head. There was a maroon-colored dent hidden close to the right side of his hairline. The scar just made him more masculine than ever. Just tough, sexy, unstoppable. All right, Daddy, just fill me in. Whatever you need me to do, I'm down for you. You just let me know the plan. He smiled. How's Mommy? I asked. Your mother's okay. She's a soldier. She'll be home by the end of the week. Now, she'll have bandages. She'll have to take it easy for a while, but we'll all help make it easier for her. You know how conceited she is, he added half joking, so don't act like anything's wrong with her face. She will have to have some type of treatment after a couple weeks. I got something to make her forget the whole thing. He signaled to me to follow him. He led me down the hallway to the back window. Take a look. My mouth dropped open when I saw the big red set S600 V12 Mercedes-Benz with a thick red bow and ribbons everywhere. Oh shit, I mumbled. My mind started working up a new wardrobe. If you're going to sport a ride like this, you got to be dressed to kill. Me and Mommy would have to go shopping immediately. Santiago was still talking, but I couldn't hear him anymore. I kept seeing the expression on Natalie and Simone's face when I came to Brooklyn pushing not a 190 baby Benz, not a 280, but a S600 V12. Would my mother let me drive it, or would she only think of herself? Would she make me wait until Santiago bought me a car, or would she kick it with me like sisters would? Wait a minute, she was sick. Maybe she'd need for me to drive around and do errands for her. Maybe she'd be a passenger for about a year or so. Okay, I thought. Maybe she'd let me drive around, but then she wouldn't let me chill in the car with Natalie and them. It would defeat the purpose of having a red Benz if you couldn't flash it for your girls, ride around flexing. You know how many niggas would be on my bra strap after they saw me behind the wheel? Mad niggas. I'd be making them beg me do shit they wouldn't ordinarily do. Kiss my ass, suck my toes. I started cracking up. Santiago looked at me like I was bugging. I straightened my face. Now, I've known a lot of cats who've been shot before, shot all over the body, the leg, the chest, the stomach. But every dude I know been shot in the head, never been the same no more. That's the shit that worries me. That's the shit that makes me want to kick my own ass for letting this happen. Winter, where's your head at? I'm talking to you. If me and you are on point, everything else will stay will fall into place. Here's what I need from you. Stay out of Brooklyn until I tell you it's okay. What? I said. Now listen to you, he said. 10 minutes ago, you were saying, just tell me the plan. I'm down for you, Santiago. Now you're ready to betray me. No, Santiago, never betrayal. Betrayal is for suckers. That's what you taught me. I'll do what you want. I'll stay out of Brooklyn until you tell me otherwise. And less talking is better. A whole lot less talking. You know how we do. The less you know, the better off we all are. And don't get too comfortable just because we're out here in the suburbs. Play your hand close to your chest like you're still in the ghetto. Trust no one and answer no questions. Don't give anybody our phone number who doesn't already have it. Now, don't get paranoid. Just don't get sloppy. A long pause fell. I broke the silence. You know, when Midnight called the night of the incident and said he was coming to get us, I didn't know whether I should have beeped you to confirm what was going on or just go along with what he was telling me to do. I figured everything was cool with him because it has always been. It's good that you thought twice about it, Santiago said, but Midnight's clean. He's as loyal as a blood-born son. I never had a problem out of him. I couldn't have left him with my girls if I didn't think I could trust him with my money and my life. Why, everything went okay, didn't it? No, it went fine. He was a real gentleman, I stated firmly, so as not to cause no problem between the two men I love. Where did you meet Midnight? He was just a kid who had a brush with the law. You know how they do. Don't want to give a kid a second chance. They force a man into a position where he can't survive, can't make no money. But when I first saw him, I knew he would be a good worker. He just had it in him. His eyes. Plus, he didn't have no family. A cat like that is going to be loyal. He needed to be able to take care of himself. What happened to his family? I haven't seen you this interested in nothing. What's all the questions about? You know, Daddy, I'm growing up. Look at me. I'll be 17 soon. Santiago watched me spin from left to right. Yeah, you are growing up. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. He put his head down in his hand as though this topic was too heavy for him. What about it? Do you know what I want for you? I want you to settle down, meet a nice guy, one of those budding doctors or lawyers or engineers. You're talking crazy, Daddy. No, seriously, Winter. My life from the outside is all good. But believe me, whether it's actually all good or bad, right or wrong, there's no letting up. No time to relax and just enjoy life. It's right. When you think you've made enough big moves, now you can take that deep breath. That's when the next guy gets you. He'll figure he caught you sleeping, call you a tired old fool, and move on you. Nobody wants to be all the time with one eye looking over your shoulder and one eye at the door. You, Winter, you deserve better. You deserve to relax, kick back, have the easy and finer things in life, no stress. One of those big-headed doctors, lawyers, engineer boys around this neighborhood can give you that. A man in Midnight's line of work can't. Well, that's it, y'all. That's chapter 4. We went over time in this chapter. Some of these chapters are longer and shorter than others. You know, when you're writing, I'm pretty sure you can't just cut off the story midway. So I definitely wanted to finish chapter 4 for you. This story, you know, I've read it several times throughout my life as a young woman and now as a not as young woman. And as we go through this story, we'll definitely have some commentary and discussion. But at the end, as I've read it before, I don't want to ruin it for those of you that are just reading it. I've talked to a few of my other listener or viewers, and I've got to tell you that those of us that have read it, it still rings true. And just like anything, you evolve. Just like this show that will be constantly evolving, you evolve. So the way that you may have looked at something 20 years ago, I pray you do not look at it the same as you do now. So I look forward to talking to you guys again. We'll be coming back with chapters 5 and 6, but enjoy chapter 4 today, or when you feel this replay, please click like, please subscribe, and keep up with me as this show is ever growing, ever evolving, and all about reading all the books. This is Tiara's Books Well Read and Books, of course, Worth Reading. Take care, you guys.